Well, now let's start off. First of all, a new album, Lights Out. It's going to be released end of October.
Yeah.
When I was listening to it, it sounds like a very socially involved record. Do you have the same feeling?
Absolutely. I wouldn't say that we are a political band, but absolutely we are writing about stuff that we feel is injustice, the injustice in the world, I think. But we have always done that, but I think it's more apparent on this album.
Yeah. Because why did you feel the need to write about such stuff?
As I said, we always write about that kind of stuff, but it's as long as you, while you get the attention, you can. It's more interesting in writing about stuff that are interesting. And to me, it is interesting, and I don't see how it couldn't be interesting. I mean, if you're not thinking about things like that, it feels like that you are not a part of a society or not part of the world. It feels weird for me to not thinking about things like that.
Yeah, because there are a lot of bands that also write about stuff that really passionates, emotes them. But there are also a lot of music about stuff like love, and you could also have written about stuff like that. But
we have love songs on the album.
Yeah,
too.
but I can imagine there must be a certain thing that maybe is that in the band that you really talk a lot about it with each other, like stuff like that.
Yeah, we usually talk a lot about stuff like that. Not that often about love. I think.
Not about love.
It's more like when you are hanging out with friends, and it's usually talking about not politics maybe, but not politics. We're not discussing parties and people in politics. More like I said, injustice and so.
How can music help spread the message into the world? Do you think?
Yeah, but music gets people attention. I think so. It's not that common that maybe you hear exactly what I say when I sing in live and on the record, but. It's more interesting to write about something that you feel comfortable about talking about. It's something that's close to my heart in a way.
Can you remember which song triggered this new album? Was there a certain song that started it all off?
From another band, you mean? Or not?
No,
like
just for started writing this album.
Okay, we had like I think the first song we wrote was. It was maybe the first song on the album. I don't think we had the lyrics done until later, but we usually do the lyrics later. So it's the first song, the Industry of Murder. And it was the feeling of, when we were talking about what we were going to do with the new album, it's like we decided that this was going to be our angriest, more darkest maybe, or more bitter, more like old man bitter kind of feeling to it. So it sets off the mood for the album pretty good, I think.
Okay, so was it a conscious writing session, like, well, we're going to write a bitter song, or was it just something that happened?
No, it's more like the feeling of the album. It's like we wanted to do a hard, like a more dynamic, more than we have done before. We've usually working a lot with dynamics, but we wanted to expand it even more. Like the hardest song was going to be our hardest ever, and the softest song was going to be the softest. So the span is bigger. Like, and it's.
Where does the bitterness of the album come from?
Maybe it's like we feel like everything is hopeless. Like it's never going to get better if not people taking things into their own matter, I think.
Where does that feeling come from? That sense of hopelessness?
It's because of people, like the ones in charge, are not letting people be free. Maybe they are not still giving us the feeling that we are free, but still we are like slaves to a system that the only thing we are going to do is wake up, go to work, and then go home and go to sleep, and then they are happy. That's the bitterness, I think, and it's always going to be like that.
Do you sometimes have that sense yourself as well?
Yeah.
Besides that you're in a band and...
Nowadays I am in a band, but I've been working a lot before. I've always been working since I was 16 years old, so I've seen that part of life too.
Yeah. What did you do when you were younger?
I studied electronics so I could fix my own amps and stuff like that, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah. So I got stuck on a company soldering electronics under a microscope.
Yeah. And that was something that you didn't want to do? Or?
I didn't mind the work. I thought it was kind of fun, but it's when you're in a company like that, the only thing, they don't want you there because they think you're nice. They only want you there because they want your labor, right? They want to pay you as little as they possibly can without you arguing about it. So.